According to health officials, the decision to close down Mona Vale Hospital should have been made a decade ago. Yet locals have played a huge role in saving this facility by bringing the issue into public focus through the establishment of community groups as well as conducting petitions and rallies. Now the quotation. An institution has been kept alive just through community activism. Jobs are being kept, lives are being saved. It's a pretty amazing thing to do. The community wins in the end. I'm excited about it because it shows that local democracy is working. It's messy, it's rowdy, it's often disorganised, but civil society is still there. And planning law is one of the most dynamic forums. It really pays for people to get involved in decision making. They really do and can make a difference. The quiz is who said it and when. The answer later. I would like to point out, minor correction to Richard, it was a level 4 hospital at Mona Vale, not a level 3. For a level 2 emergency, you must have on-site radiology, pathology, pharmacy services, general surgical services, anaesthetics, critical care, coronary care unit, high dependency unit, depending on what the network is, one of those, general medicine, obstetrics and gynaecology where applicable, and paediatrics, mixed department or access to paediatric centre. I've got to say to you that the other thing that's significant is raising it to a level 1 emergency is purely a puff piece, ladies and gentlemen. We did get some services we sought, which was a CT scan and some ultrasound in addition to X-ray. However, you should be aware that level 1 emergencies are specifically designed for remote area emergency in very small remote towns in the bush. They are not designed as an emergency department for a city hospital. Level 3 emergency, which is where we'd like to be, radiology, pathology, pharmacy services, general surgical services, orthopaedics, anaesthetics, and so on, to a significantly increased level over level 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't only want, we demand a level 3 service at that site. I would also like to point out that it is often raised that the building is a problem. Now, it's a building, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not wedded to a building, I have to tell you. I don't believe it should be pulled down. I don't believe it needs to be pulled down. It is scheduled to be demolished, though. Be aware of that. I don't believe it needs to be. But if I could have a cast iron concrete signature in the government's stone of life that they would rebuild as a purpose-built level 3 hospital when they pulled it down, I'd tick on it. But they won't do that. So do not allow it to come down. I have to say that all the engineering assessment of that building that have been done since I think goes back as far as 2010 have indicated that the structure of the building is fine. There's nothing wrong with that building. The facade of the building has deteriorated significantly. The facade is repairable. And frankly, the reason the facade is deteriorated is because governments have failed to maintain the building. And I also get quoted asbestos. You know, really, I know it's full of asbestos. It is, but you've got to solve that problem whether you pull it down or fix it. You've still got to sort out what to do with that. And frankly, we did it to paediatrics, and we did it to maternity, we can do it to the rest of the hospital. Let me show you what we have here. And I want you to look at the the Mona Vale list. I don't know if you can read it, but I'll give you an idea. This is what we had, ladies and gentlemen. We had a level 4 hospital. We had a great hospital. We had great people. I mean, the paediatrics under Emmy were amazing. Great person, Andy, with his emergency department. We had a great hospital. No hospital's perfect, and they worked in very difficult conditions, and they didn't deserve to work in those conditions. The buildings can be fixed and equipment can be updated. The community deserves and needs an acute services hospital in this area. You used to have all of the services listed down the red stripe, if you can read it. But these are the acute services of the hospital. The hospital has acute, subacute and non-acute services. And these are the acute services that go all the way down. Core medical services, including general medicine, cardiology, dermatology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, haematology, immunology, infectious diseases, neurology, oncology. We had a range of critical and acute care services. They're gone. They're gone. And it is a shame. It is a shame. They're gone and we should get them back. Now, I've got to say to you two things. First of all, I am a great supporter of the services that have been added to that site. Obviously I am. I was involved in trying to get some of them. It's fantastic that we have such a great rehab centre. We have the palliative care. We have the great community health centre. Those are very significant and very important services to our community. They form a great foundation to bring back appropriate acute services. Remember that there have been calls for expressions of interest to build and operate health-related services on sections of the site. Now, while the site may not be sold, some of the site certainly is open for long-term lease to some people or organisations to build and operate health-related facilities. Now, there was a document that came out a while ago, and a few people said, "Oh no, that's not a current document anymore." A document that came out, and I said, "Okay, that's fine. It's not a current. What's happening?" Well, no answers, except on earlier in the week, on Sunday, I think I was relaxing at home and I got a phone call from someone who was quite irate, I might say, and I think probably a doctor, I'm not sure, but I know his partner's a doctor because I know his partner. And he was accusing us of being factually incorrect in the document that we sent around to you. And I said, that worries me greatly. The last thing we want to do is be factually incorrect. We put a lot of effort into trying to tell people the truth. And he said, you said that tenders have been called for the building of and operating of medical services on the site. And I said, yeah, you're absolutely correct. We did make a mistake. I saw it after it was printed. It should have been expressions of interest. And I said, but what you've just done is confirmed to me that what we believe was the case is the case, so thank you very much. And he then went on to tell me that, but you know, the other factual errors on that are the quality of the building, and started berating me about the state of the building. My response was, well, I started quoting him the reports. And he, at that point in time, the telephone conversation ended. But what we did get was a confirmation that the government is seriously looking at leasing off sections of that site to private operators to put private health facilities there. And until they fix the public, bugger the private. You know, we've got the Northern Beaches Hospital. We need that hospital, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to work for the health and safety of all of us. And we need to find ways to make that happen. And that isn't only us. It isn't only us, it's them. And them, I mean health, I mean the hospital. They need to build confidence within the community. And one of the ways to do that is communicate with the community. Don't feed the press bullshit. Don't lie about the status of staff. Tell us the truth. And let's work together to make it successful for all of us. Because what's happened is we've not only lost our acute services, we've lost our access to public information about the way the hospital we owned was performing. Healthscope have no obligation to put their performance up on the My Hospital's government website, where I can go in and find out what presentations and what resuscitations and a whole range of other information. We deserve that information. We're told it's a public hospital, then let's feed the community the information as though it is a public hospital. The reality is we've lost control. As a result of losing control, the health department and Healthscope have lost community trust and support. And remember, I'm a great supporter of that hospital. We need it. We need to get that back. There are systemic problems that need to be sorted if they can be sorted, and we have a right to question if they can be sorted. The health and well-being of our community is absolutely dependent on that. Now, what have we got at Mona Vale? We've got some great services, and some are coming and some exist today. 30-bed assessment and rehab unit, 26-bed beachside rehab unit, community health centre, hydrotherapy pool, community palliative care unit, and a 10-bed inpatient palliative care unit to be built. Fantastic, wonderful. 10-bed geriatric evaluation and management unit. Fantastic. Urgent care centre. Brilliant. Because one of the problems is that they put that hospital on the hill and totally underestimated the impact of the increased catchment. I'm hearing from doctors day in, day out that they're getting patients from all over the northern part of Sydney. From even as far as Turramurra, from people at St Ives, Killarney, all of these areas. And therefore the impact to that hospital, frankly, is I think, way beyond their expectation. I've got to say the Blind Freddy should have picked it, but they didn't. So we need the urgent care centre, but we really need, and I support Richard entirely on this, we need a proper emergency department. And ladies and gentlemen, you can't have a proper emergency department without acute services hospitals supporting it. So what's the solution? Sunshine Coast is about 300,000 people. It's growing faster than we are. And, to be honest, the catchment area of the new hospital plus our northern beaches, because the hospital's not on the northern beaches, that catchment area is getting up towards 300,000 people, by the way. And I've done the numbers out of census and looked at where people live and who are going to the hospital. Pretty significant. So, very similar area. What did they do up in the Sunshine Coast? Well, they started out with a Gympie hospital, a Nambour hospital and a Caloundra hospital. They then decided they need to put a full level 6 trauma hospital in. And they did a public-private partnership, but not so goddamn stupidly as we've done it. What they did was they took a consortium to build the building and maintain the building. That's it. It's a public hospital that they are just literally renting and leasing for a period of time from a supplier. So it's entirely public run, entirely public managed, and not only that, right next to it they built a private hospital. So they have a level 6 hospital and then a co-located private hospital. The equivalent around here would be Royal North Shore. What did they do to the other hospitals? Well, they didn't close any of them. None. So if we'd done the same, we'd still have a Manly and Mona Vale. But that's not the reality we're facing. However, what they did was particularly interesting, and I think there is an opportunity here which makes all sorts of sense for us as a community. One of the hospitals, Nambour Hospital, they have rejigged. They have kept full range of acute services, but what they've done is they've given it a specialty. It's a smaller level 4 approximate hospital, with a specialty. You know what that specialty is? That specialty is aged. So then you start to say, okay, we have an ageing population. By the way, they have paediatrics in there as well, I think. While the specialty is aged, that specialty enables the other services to be supported because aged people need lots of orthopaedics, don't they? So orthopaedics and orthopaedic surgery is a really critical element in it. So they didn't close it, they changed it. They've got an acute hospital, full emergency, specialist inpatient areas, day infusion service, cancer services, emergency medicine, general medicine, outpatient services, full pharmacies, imaging. They have got a Mona Vale. And what this government needs to do is give the authority to Deb Wilcox and her team and the planners to review the Nambour Sunshine Coast model with a view to emulating that. The only thing they don't have, which I think we should have, is maternity, to emulate that on the Mona Vale side. And if you do it as a level 3, the reality is there would be probably, and I'm guessing because I'm no expert at this, I'm guessing 1 or 2 floors that you could probably lease out to private operators without building any more buildings on the site and destroying what was there. But somebody needs to look at it because this community is not going to give up on this issue till acute services are returned to Mona Vale. Okay, I did ask earlier and I remembered who said that little quote. For those of you who didn't hear the person own up, it was Rob Stokes. Rob was, at that point in time in 2006, lecturing at Macquarie University. And that was his philosophy. So, Rob, get that fire in the belly and support your community and get those acute services back. Thank you. Thank you. This is a great audience. I'll come again.